Hello, and welcome to the Performer's Guide. Get Your Act Together 21-Day Personal Challenge. We are on day 13, most important tasks. So yesterday we talked about our to-do list, and really this whole week has been about goal setting, getting our to-do list together, getting our life sort of mapped out, seeing where our holes lie. And next week we will be focusing on skill mapping and how to accumulate the skills needed to accomplish the to-do list that we are creating now, because some of them might be a little bit beyond our capacity now. And it'll be a time for us to start building our dream team of people who we can bring on as collaborators, partners, employees, independent contractors to help us fulfill our goals. And through the activity yesterday, through creating our to-do list, you can have a really good master list, right? We've got every topic and category and potential long-term goals, short-term goals, they're all in one. And sometimes it can be like, whoo, that's a lot of goals. And it can feel overwhelming. And so what I like to do is I like to make a secondary list, which is the most important tasks list. And so this is a smaller to-do list that you create daily, weekly, monthly, and you can decide how often you want to recreate this task list. And so this is another element that is included in bullet journaling. So when you're bullet journaling, you can create your to-dos, and then you make your weekly tasks and then daily tasks. And then when it's time to move over and go to the next week, you can see which ones you've accomplished, which ones you haven't, which ones you want to move over, which ones you don't want to move over. And so this will be an excellent way for you to figure out what is important and what is necessary to do today. And if you struggle with this in general, I will be going over task management video next week. So I'm really excited. I've been working really hard on the Get Your Act Together journal. Right now we're working in a workbook style, but I'm hoping to create a journal that we can use in the upcoming rounds, where it'll really go day by day, and each day we'll have an opportunity to habit track and do some of these daily tasks just in a nice simple format. So I've created a really nice example of a new most important tasks layout, and I will be adding it into the module. So it'll have the worksheet, and then it'll also have a template, and then it'll be really nice because we'll be able to track out our weekly and daily goals much easier in the next rounds, and I can't wait to get it printed also. So I'm really just really excited to get the Get Your Act Together journal made. So it's chugging along, and so I'll be posting a link to that in the module below. Okay, so how do I pull from my master list onto my most important tasks list? I have a couple different ways that I plan and pull from. So one is immediacy. So if there's something that is like giving a big red flag of like, you need to pay attention to this right now. Maybe you have a bill that's overdue. Maybe your car needs repair. Maybe you need to go to the bank. Maybe you need to go to the grocery store. Maybe there's something, could be anything, that has been poking at you, being like, this needs to be done right now. And so that's one that I really think of, is immediacy. What do I need right now? And then the other I like to start with is things I can accomplish under 5 minutes. So I like to give myself some wins. If I jump right into a big project right away, sometimes I can feel like I'm not making any progress, and it can feel daunting when I'm trying to accomplish my goals. So what I'll do instead is figure out just a few little things. Maybe I need to hang up a picture and it'll take just less than 5 minutes. Maybe I need to throw some laundry in. Maybe I need to just clean my room for a little bit, like 5 minute clean. Anything that can take less than 5 minutes, I try to do immediately and just accomplish those. So I'll look on there and see a few that feel low stress, but big accomplish, and I try to work on that. Then the next is anything with a deadline. So maybe a deadline's coming up, and obviously anything with an very upcoming deadline, I would work on it. But also, if I have a specific deadline, no matter when the deadline is, I make sure to make time in small chunks to work on that a little bit each day, so that I don't have the whole project to work on at the end of the project cycle. So I try to think about what I need to do immediately. I think about what I can do very quickly. And then I think about, okay, I have a goal that's all these different dates. Maybe something's a week out, maybe something's a month out, maybe something's at the end of the year. And I try to make steps towards weekly, monthly, yearly goals also. So I kind of try to take steps towards everything. And then when you get to what would be your daily goal, which is much further in the future, you've already had so much progress on it because you've given it a little bit of your attention each time. So, like for this project for me, the Get Your Act Together program, if it started in January, I don't want to be like just now finishing it right then. I wanted to make sure I had it done a few months beforehand. And so I worked backwards, and each day, each week for a little bit, I made sure to work on just a little bit at a time, one page at a time, one module at a time. So that by the time I got here, I wasn't like, oh my God, I have 21 whole modules all to create at one time. And so that's what we want to do with your goals as well, is if you're moving, right? Oh, I have a hair on my face somewhere. I'm sorry, guys. If you're moving, you don't want to pack the day before, you want to start to prep and create all that prep work beforehand. And so it's the same with any goal at all. And so what we're going to do is I want to see your most important task process. Are you picking just today's? Are you just flying by the seat of your pants? Are you constantly working on future goals, but maybe not putting enough attention into your current short-term goals? It's important to have a vision of both at the same time. We want to be able to focus on immediacy, but we also want to be able to see further towards our long-term goals and make sure that as things come in, as we start to kind of get ping pong pinball offers that are going to bounce us around, we want to go, wait, is this sustaining my long-term goals, or is this derailing me for a short-term fulfillment that actually isn't going to help me in the long term and is actually going to set me back in the long term? And this will help us structure ourselves a little bit better around that, because we're going to be able to have our goals mapped out. We already have our day planned out. And when things come in, then it's like, okay, wait, this doesn't get put on the top of the list. It gets put on the bottom of the list, unless it's like extremely an emergency. We have our most important tasks for the day. You should have your day mapped out. And then if something comes in, it's like, okay, well, if I have time, I will do that. Or maybe that can wait until next week. I especially do this with shopping. Make my shopping list. I have a master shopping list. And then I've got my most important shopping list that I make to go to the store. And then to, mitigate impulse purchases. If I'm like, oh, I want this random thing, I'm like, wait, hold on. It's not on the to-do list. This is not on my shopping list. I will put it on the list for next time. And then next time when I come back, if I still want it, then I'll buy it. And so that's another example of how to sort of utilize the bullet journaling technique of, okay, wait, put it on the list. And then if it can make it to the next list, then maybe it's important. But otherwise, it was probably just an impulse idea, impulse purchase, impulse project. And so we want to mitigate those by putting them onto the list, but it doesn't go onto the most important task list. That we should already have mapped out. And so for those of you that tend to take on a million projects, say yes to a million things, want to be involved in a bunch of things, for me, that's a good middle ground between just saying no and saying yes immediately and putting it onto my plate too soon. And so if someone comes to you with something, you're like, yes, let me consider it. Let me think about it for a second, put it on my list. Let me come back to it, put it on the back burner, and then come back to it. Because remember, you have goals also. You have them, you've set them, you're trying to make progress on those. And so follow through on those and then put the other new ones on there as well. Yes? So I love utilizing this tactic for, like I said, grocery shopping, for my regular to-do list, for any type of project, any one of those things, any one of those categories that we've set out in your wheel of life, any one of those could be their own to-do list. Like maybe you have a business to-do list that you're doing with your business partner who is involved in each to-do list as well. And so this is, again, we're going to start to build up our team of maybe I'm co-creating a to-do list with somebody else and managing them. This is why I like Asana as well, because you can start to layer out the importance. You can put the dates on, you can assign tasks, and then you know, okay, wait, I'm waiting on that person to do my task. So I don't have to think about it right now. And so it helps to take some things off the plate, helps to reorganize. And I just found this, which I'm checking out. I'm unsure of yet, but it's really interesting concept of an AI bot taking your to-do list and it will create for you the most idealized version of your to-do list in the best order by date. I was like, okay. Actually, because we've been talking about to-do lists this week, it's been popping up in my advertisements, of course. So I am going to check it out because it does sound very interesting and they have a free option. So I'm going to check it out. And if that's something, I will, of course, let you know. So that's it. It's a pretty short video today. We're just thinking about our most important tasks. So we've got our to-do list, which has come from our SMART goals, which has come from our wheel of life. This is all really one sort of globular unit that will help us figure out what's going on in our life, make goals around it, turn that into a to-do list, create our most important tasks, and then use that to systematically just check off all of the things that we need to bust out in our lives. All right. So again, my name is Kristen Railing. This is the Performer's Guide, Get Your Act Together 21-Day Personal Challenge. And we are on day 13, most important tasks. And I will see you tomorrow for another day of rest. How's your rest coming along? I'll see you tomorrow.